Hi, and welcome back to the channel. This is my second attempt at trying to make a recording. Here I've been talking for about a good 20 minutes, and lo and behold, I forgot to push the record button on the phone. Okay, so what is the subject today? Well, the subject is self-hypnosis. And it's a fantastic way to transform yourself very quickly and easily if you know how to use self-hypnosis, if you know how to apply it to yourself. Well, like with any tool about change, think of change as more of a learning process rather than it's going to be some sort of epiphany which changes everything, or like if you're going to the doctor and you're getting penicillin to kill some bacteria. This is not a treatment. It's not a self-help treatment. It's more of a way of helping you get into a state where you can much more quickly acquire new information. It can help you learn things faster, as I've already said. It can help you change your attitude. If you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, well, you can basically go into hypnosis and wake up on the right side of the bed. You can use self-hypnosis to overcome addiction issues, help you fall asleep faster, help you become more secure within yourself. And there's just all kinds of positive benefits around self-hypnosis. Now, what is the difference between self-hypnosis and meditation? Well, the experience you're going to have in self-hypnosis is determined by you. It's determined by you through the suggestions you're putting into your mind's eye. Whereas in meditation, the actual frame of reference that's defining the meditation acts as a self-suggestion. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you're going to meditate and you believe you're going to experience like a kundalini energy and the different chakras, this is something you've been reading about, you've been told how it's supposed to feel, you've been exploring it, thinking about it, maybe watching other YouTube videos. And lo and behold, when you sit down and get into that self-hypnotic state, you can actually experience these types of energies flowing through your body. I'm not saying that they're not real. I'm just saying that self-hypnosis, that's what you will experience if that's what you're expecting in the meditative state. Likewise, if you're meditating through mindfulness meditation, you might be expecting that over time your mind quiets by itself, which it usually does. And again, this might be because of the actual process of just accepting, or it might be a result of the implicit suggestion lying within the idea of mindfulness meditation. Anyway, the cool thing about self-hypnosis is that you decide what you want to experience. If you want to have some really weird experience, like one time I experienced the room melting around me as if I was on an LSD trip, and I've never used any kind of drugs whatsoever. It was just real. It was a real hallucination. If you want to experience self-hypnosis in a little bit kinder way, like you fall asleep faster, well, you can definitely prime your mind to make that happen through self-hypnosis. I'm going to teach you a very simple technique. It only takes a few minutes to learn. Though I did use maybe almost a half a year to master the technique myself, and that's because I probably had some sort of unconscious belief that it wasn't going to work for me. But I stuck with it and I eventually managed to make it work. And it's very simple. Unfortunately, I'm not sitting so that you can easily see my arm, my hand. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hold my arm up like this. And what you do is you focus on you focus on the finger on your dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, you'd be looking at your right pointer finger. If you're left-handed, you'd be looking at your left pointer finger. And all you're going to do is you're going to look at a certain spot. You're not going to want to move your eyes around. You're just going to stay focused on one spot on the finger, like I'm going to focus there in a minute. And then I'm going to repeat again and again lighter and lighter and being lifted up and lifted up. And through that repetition, I'm going to also be paying attention to different types of sensations in the finger. These sensations might be like a little electrical feeling going through the finger, or a numbness, or a throbbing, pulsating type of sensation. Might even be some sort of an itching sensation. And I'm just going to pay attention to whatever sensations that come into my mind as I look at the finger. So now I'm just going to look at the finger for a moment and look at that one spot. And I can kind of feel like a pricking, tingling sensation in the finger. It's not painful. It's almost like that feeling as if you were playing with a magnet. And since I've done this so many times, my unconscious mind knows what it's expecting what's going to happen. So now I'm going to start thinking lighter and lighter and being lifted up and lifted up. And we always see the first twitches. About this point is when I want to close my eyes. I start to yawn. Lighter and lighter and being lifted up and lifted up. And as I notice, my field of vision kind of gets more like in tunnel vision, and I want to close my eyes. I'm focusing exclusively on the finger being lifted up, and I'm not moving it on my own. And it's about at this point I'm going to ask my unconscious mind, I'm going to give my unconscious mind a suggestion or a question. If you're asking for a question, then the answer will just pop into mind automatically when the unconscious mind has worked through the problem and figured out the best way for you forward. Now, a suggestion might be that my arm is becoming super light because now it's getting pretty heavy, or I might want to suggest that I know what the taste of a lemon tastes like and feels like in my mouth. And just saying that gives me a little bit of water because I am in a little bit of a trance state. So I'm going to ask my unconscious mind to help me formulate how my app that I'm developing should look. And I'm going to ask it to give me 3 visual images. And those images should be intuitive enough to help the person go into the trance state. Well, sorry, it's not an app about trance states. It's an app about, well, I don't want to tell what it is about just yet because I want to keep it a little bit of a secret. But if you follow along this channel, you will definitely be one of the first people to know when it comes out. Now you see my fingers continuing to lift up. I'm not doing this consciously. It's happening at the unconscious level. Okay? So suddenly I see like the head of an owl with 2 eyes and its beak. And it's just a close-up of the head and the beak. Now that's a pretty cool idea or concept for the owl design for the app. Remember, I asked for 3 designs. Okay, I see a tea kettle that's really boiling over. And now I see like a lever that you pull or drag, maybe from left to right, to activate the app. And those are pretty cool images. Okay, I'm going to come back to myself now. 1, 2, 3, I'm awake. So I demonstrated the process for you. What happens is you focus on your finger, you're focusing on the sensations, and you're trying to get into a feedback loop between what you're thinking and what you're asking yourself to imagine or feel that's happening to the finger. And so I was imagining lifting up and lifting up, getting lighter and lighter, lifting up, lifting up. And that's what happened with my finger. At some point, you'll just feel your consciousness so pinpointed and focused that you can then introduce what it is you want to work on. In this case, I wanted to be a little bit creative and ask for 3 different ideas for the app that I'm working on. In other situations, you might want to ask yourself for a concrete experience, like maybe you're trying to quit drinking or stop eating so much sugar. And so then you will ask yourself to feel completely relaxed and in control when you see sugar. And the difference between this and just thinking about it is that you're actually so focused and you are imagining what that feeling is like and those behaviors are like, that you're repeating in your mind's eye the whole behavioral aspect of what you're going to need to go through in order to master any task. You can use this also in terms of become better at a certain sport, learning a language more quickly. So this is just a universal tool. Obviously, this is a very short video of the finger lifting up, and I call that the finger induction. It's just a very, very short video to help you. And remember, I used about 6 months to get my finger to lift up, and now I do it almost every day with my clients, showing them this method of going into a self-hypnotic state. That's all for now, folks. Thank you for following along, and leave a comment about what are the suggestions you want to give yourself. Okay, take care.